Welcome to the Wobbly Hobbit Studio in British Columbia, Canada. It's a pentagon-shaped 300 square foot studio. It's an earthen bermed building, so about a third of it is underground. I wanted it to be a green structure, and I wanted it to fit into the landscape with a green roof. It is a bit of a hybrid build with cob material. It's clay and straw, which is sourced locally, insulated concrete forms, and just regular stick frame construction. And my favorite thing about the studio is I look out any window and there's green. You know, on a snowy day, you fire up the stove, look outside, and it's quiet, and it's a place to decompress after a long day. I feel real good in there. Vision was to have an inobtrusive structure in the backyard that wouldn't annoy my neighbors, and I wanted to be able to share the process with people, to show others, you know, if you have access to land and don't mind a little elbow grease, this is what you can do. I'm the designer and builder of the Wobbly Hobbit. Not a lot of building experience, but yeah, learning was half of the fun. And tons of people were involved. They know who they are, and they know they're appreciated for what they've done in making this thing a reality. Yeah, a lot of hands were involved on this, and we had a lot of fun getting her done. This project took about 6.5 years. Primarily weekends and any vacation time I had. Loved every minute of it. How much did it cost to build? About 50 grand Canadian, including appliances and all of that stuff. Pretty affordable at the end of the day, comparatively speaking. Of course, my labor was free, and I did retain an engineer, Tim Krahn, and Pat Amos, an experienced builder with alternative builds like this. And I was here every day working with Pat. I'd like to think that structures like this can be in place with existing neighborhoods like this, you know, may solve some housing issues that we currently face. So here's a scale model that I built, which is really the guide. That's the way that we built this place. And just to show you the kind of the shape of it, so it's a pentagon shape. That shape lends itself to really good stability. So if you can imagine this and just jamming that into a side hill. So the soil actually comes up to about here. So as you can see, the structure is built into this side hill. And I wanted as unobtrusive a building as I could. I want to respect my neighbors. I have some great neighbors, thankfully. About a third of it is underground here, so it's an earthen bermed building, technically is what it's called. Building this into that side hill was quite a task, but the fact that it's into the side of the hill, it helps in temperature regulation. For the foundation, we use concrete, which is a huge CO2 contributor, but permitting required that we use concrete. It is a bit of a hybrid build. Insulated concrete forms were used on this back wall because it is below grade for a lot of it, so you needed that strength and stability with that push of the soil on it. It transitions around the front of the structure into just regular stick frame construction. And within that void, the walls are a foot thick. We used light clay, where what you do is mix wood fiber in with that clay, and you build forms on each side of that wall, and very much like concrete pour, you just tamp that in lightly next and step your way up to the completed wall. The finish is a clay plaster finish, not lime. We wanted those walls to be able to breathe. There's no vapor barrier in here. That clay is hygroscopic, which means it can absorb and release water. So it self-regulates the humidity. This is a minimum 18 inches for rain spatter. You want to protect this surface from rain. Cob builders will tell you a good hat and good boots make a good structure. You want to keep the rain off that. You essentially sculpt your building. The material becomes Play-Doh for adults, and you can build stuff like that. That's my trio life. These are regular windows that we sculpted, you know, those arching windows with. These are actually wine barrel staves that we've cut and formed to form that sill there. As you can see, there's a living roof on it that has been a joy. Any of the plants that were on the original site have been moved up to the top of the roof, so those ferns miraculously survived and managed to plug them back into the roof up here. A nice place to get away if you get cabin fever in 300 square feet. They've got lots of room up here. So this is my little rooftop getaway. It's winter time, so gives it no justice. But yeah, in the summertime, it's great to get away, have a seat out here, and enjoy the fresh air, the birds. It's a great spot to rejuve, for sure. A living roof is a ton of work. Thankful for a slinger truck that we managed to squeeze into between the houses here. But that roof will last a lot longer than an asphalt or what have you, right? We do collect rainwater off the roof. Through here, there's 2 of these on each side. Coming around the front, you can see the extension of the rafters up here. That's about a 4-foot extension. Again, protecting that and giving yourself some cover around the front here. Yeah, getting those logs down here was a bit of a challenge. 600 pounds up on 2 dollies and wheeled them into the back. This door is a bit of a feature. It's got the peephole here that's high security. Moving across to here, that's a bit of my wood pile collection, and it is very practical. These are wine bottles that we've embedded into the wall there for a funky feature. There's lights within there, so it's kind of a fun thing to do. Star of the show that really dictated the size, the length of the building. There's no way that was coming down, would never do that. So we built the structure around it. And these, you can see these curvy bits here were steamed and bent with stanchions that we built along the nose of the building. That curvy organic look is really what we were after. There's very few angular bits in any of the building here. There's the other side of the rainwater collection. Here's my hot tub over there. And there's my industrial over-engineered cat entry system. There's the cat door. And behind me is the bathhouse. Wanted to have a shower, so come on in here and we'll check this out. As you can see, the skylight opens there, which is important for any moisture buildup in there. That door is about 120 years old, which it's a beauty. So happy to repurpose that one. Now, here's my little bathhouse. My dad and I built this as a garden shed, so I've repurposed it. I'll show you what this goofy thing is all about. That's to make use of that wine barrel there and not have that shower curtain grab you. So there's my shower. I've got a sink in here, and I have a composting toilet on this side. This is the heat source. That's a radiant heating panel, like a ceramic panel, and that provides all the heat I need in here. Yeah, good use of a little 5x7 space and very practical. Come on in. So 300 square feet, and believe me, we've used every square inch of that. Maybe we'll start at the entrance here. This is my combo concierge desk and games room. We have a good old dart game there ready to go. And that's been a lot of fun. These are Japanese glass floats that we've used for lighting in behind there. Moving across to here, this is a big 4x8 window that was a must-have for obvious reasons. That is why this is here. You can see green out of every window, and it just has such a soothing, calming effect. This is a cedar bench. There's storage under here. And this is my truth window. So this is what this thing is made out of. Light clay is the technique used here. So clay is mixed in with wood fiber that you can see here. So R value of about R20. The walls are a foot thick. The finish is a much finer clay and much finer straw mixture that you put on with a trowel. That's really easy to apply. Moving across here, here's my TV. That's a wine barrel. That part of the name of the joint, Wobbly Hobbit. The wine barrel speaks to the wobbly bit. And we've used wine barrels throughout the place, as you can see. I can actually fold that in and close it up. So again, funky things like this, little recesses where I can put all my mementos and things. All of my, anything in this area are on wheels, so I can make room for, I don't know, dance floor and other things. I'm a virtual reality guy. I've been hooked into it. I do tons of stuff. Workouts, gaming, exploring. So this gives you the space to do what you got to do, and then at the end of it, you roll it all back. So again, a dual use. Moving across to here. Yes, kitty. There's the boss of the show right there. Other fun things you can do, that's a wine barrel stave up here. Got these shutters secondhand. Moving across to here, these are portal windows that open up, thankfully, because when that masonry stove is fired up, I get a good cross breeze through here with the peep door in the window. This is kind of a neat focal point to have all of the log rafters emanating from that back wall. It's kind of a striking deal when you walk in and you see that coming at you. It's neat. And here's my bed. It doesn't fold up, but what I've been able to do is create a bench that will sit up about this high, and all the guts to that bench are in the bed, and there's other storage within here as well. So yeah, it's multi-purpose, a little workbench. I do finishing work on some of my wine barrel stuff in there. And there's wine barrels back here for the headboard, and there's storage within each of those. Moving around to the star of the show is this guy. This is a masonry stove, masonry heater. And this is the work of Pat Amos. This is his specialty, building these. And it's an ancient method of generating heat. Russian stoves, they've been called other things, but essentially what you got here is a burn box here. There's a little slot in the top of this burn box, and that flame comes up into this burn box. A very cool little ram's head flame coming up into here. So it's reintroduced with more oxygen, and it burns super clean. Very little smoke once the thing gets humming. All of that hot gas is coming through here and through the bench, through channels that are built in to this cob bench. So that hot gas comes through, winds its way through the bench, and then finally up the chimney. So rather than all that heat in a regular fireplace, it goes straight up, boom, gone. With this, that cob is scrubbing that heat, and it just turns this into a big thermal battery. and I light a fire for an hour or two. This bench is radiating heat for 18 hours. So very effective use of wood heat. It's fantastic. Love it. This, another 2-for-1 deal. More counter space, right? You can never have enough counter space until you want a fire going. And then you remove the top of this, and that's going to get hot. Away you go. Yeah. So more counter space when not in use. That's kind of the name of the game here, is to make use of the space you have, which sometimes means dual use. Moving across to my little galley kitchen. More use of wine barrels. Little shelves in here. My hot water tank is right there. Bit of a challenge jamming that in there, but my plumber guys did a heck of a job. So that's the hot water supply, and it's worked out great. For just myself here, that's really all I need. And the shower that supplies is 5 minutes max. So quick showers. More wine barrel stuff. This is a cabinet this is in a funky corner, so it was a challenge to get in there, but we managed to do it. And I think it's a kind of a neat feature and good practical use of wine barrels. Fridge, of course, that is a kind of an apartment fridge, but a little bigger than the bar fridges, not as big as full size, but it enabled me to put this, it's a 4-in-1 cooking unit, air fryer, convection oven, microwave. It's been really all I need. Flooring is earthen floor coated with linseed oil that seals it. So waterproof, feels a little softer than concrete underfoot, very durable, and it wears quite well. All the windows were surplus, and the nice lady gave me that 6x3 skylight that, you know, without that it'd be pretty dark in here, I think. Even with, I think there's 10 windows in here. That has been a great addition, and I think, you know, really highlights the beams. Heat, water, and electricity. Well, that was a challenge. Services from the house, all underground, and that's the challenging part. We had to chip away at that bedrock in order to, to get the services in. Lots of challenges. Yeah, moving the material back here was a challenge. 1,000 wheelbarrow loads later. The fact that there's only one 90-degree corner in the place was a challenge. All overcome. You know, we got her done. You know, for those that are into this kind of thing, in my website at wobblyhobbit.com, there's kind of a step-by-step progress of how we built this thing. There's lots of great photos and how-tos and things like that. This kind of a project is a lot of physical work, but more than half the fun was getting here, and I mean that sincerely, and it's very rewarding.
Subscribe to Exploring Alternatives and check out our playlists for more videos like this. You can also find out more about Brent's Wobbly Hobbit Studio at wobblyhobbit.com. Thanks for watching.